how to stay consistent with your weight loss journey. Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Alicia Shelly. Now, I have one of the major questions that I get from my patients is how to stay consistent, how to stay motivated, because most of us know that this weight loss journey is not something that's like a month or 2 months. This is something that's more of our lifestyle. This is the change that is happening so we can get to a place where we want to be. But the question is how to stay consistent, how to stay engaged, how to keep going. And so I have a few tips today that I help you with that actual question. So let's talk about it. How to stay consistent in your weight loss journey. Consistency. This is the one thing that will help you not only lose weight, but maintain your weight. When you are consistent with how you're eating, when you are consistent with how you're moving, when you're consistent with the small things, how you're planning for your meals, it will help with the big things. It's very interesting. When I see my patients and we talk about it when they first come in, the small things that they can do. And I see when they come back for a follow-up, just how much they've improved a lot. And I ask them, I'm like, what made a difference between, a couple months since we saw each other? They're like, well, I was consistent. They weren't perfect now. They were just consistent. So the one thing you'll notice is that with this weight loss, you're not going to be 100% perfect. And that's okay. But as long as you stay consistently doing things, even if you get off track, getting back on it, you'll see success. So let's dive in. But before we dive in, tell me, what are your biggest challenges to staying consistent? What stops you from being consistent? One of the biggest challenges for me is just time, finding time to do things, making sure that I implement the exercise in my schedule, making sure I implement the planning my meals. When I plan my meals for the week, oh boy, am I on top of it. You can't tell me nothing. Especially when I'm able to plan my meals and make sure that I know exactly what I'm eating. But some weeks are hard. But why is it hard for you? So post in the comments, #replay, or if you're watching this live, why is it hard for you to stay consistent? Well, why for most people, it's your schedule. You're busy. Things happen. You may have kids that have extracurricular activities that you have to drive them to. You may have a spouse that needs your attention. You may have work that needs your attention. You may even have home chores that you have to do, but it's just so hard to stay consistent. So obligations, you may have obligations at church, obligations out in your charity, all these different obligations that stop you from being consistent. Work. And then you may just be plain stressed and burnt out. Sometimes when you get to that place of stress and burned out, you don't want to do anything, not a thing. And so definitely that can make it hard to stay consistent. Now, let's talk about some tips to staying consistent. Number 1, schedule your healthy habits. So I mentioned to you that one of the big things for me, if I can schedule what I'm going to do, if I can meal prep, the week is going to go by smooth and I know what I'm doing and it just goes by a lot better. But when I don't schedule these things, it's not getting done. So one example of this is that I may have mentioned this, I'm training for an Ironman. So that requires exercise a couple times a day. And so sometimes if I do not schedule when I'm going to go swimming, I'm not going to go swimming. And not only do I schedule it, I need to make sure my stuff is in the car so that when I leave, I have what I need. A good example, I was supposed to go swimming before this Facebook Live. Unfortunately for me, I left my swimming gear, my shower, my swimming cap, my goggles, all of it at home. And I said to myself, you are not serious, not serious. You knew you were going to go swimming and you left it at home. So it's important to schedule your healthy habits. Plan out your day when you plan to do it. Because if you plan it, you're going to get it done. Even if you don't particularly care for it. I'm not the biggest swimmer, but I know I have to do it because I do not want to drown for this Ironman. So I got to keep swimming. But anyway, the next thing is set realistic goals for yourself. Sometimes we have huge goals we want to accomplish. And because we are, we're just going, a good example of this may be, I haven't been exercising and I want to start an exercise program. And so an unrealistic goal would be, well, I'm going to run a marathon in a month from now. Now, you need a lot longer than a month to run a marathon. That's an unrealistic goal. But a realistic goal, if you haven't been exercising, is like, hey, I'm just going to start. So I'm going to start with walking. And I'm going to walk 30 minutes a day, 5 days out the week, and then maybe a little bit on the weekend, and start there and kind of build your way up. So definitely start with realistic goals. When you don't have realistic goals, it can be very discouraging and you may quit. So make sure you set realistic goals. Next, set non-eating rewards. Now, we're all love a good reward. I'll be honest with you. I will do a race for a medal in any day. And so a lot of times we need to reward ourselves for actually, completing our goals. And so a good example of non-eating rewards is like, oh, I'm going to go buy a dress for myself, because I was consistent with my exercise for the week, or I was consistent with my exercise for 2 weeks. I'm going to go buy myself a dress. Or for me, I wanted to lose so much weight. And so when I lost that weight, I bought myself an air fryer, So it's just doing something that kind of rewards you for meeting your goal. And there's no right or wrong. It's just as long as it's not eating. And you can decide on what works for you. All right, check in weekly with yourself. Now, with this check-in, it's important for you to realize how your week went. So a good example of this is like at the end of the week, or kind of the beginning of the week for me, I will weigh myself and see how did I do, I'll look back and say, hey, Alicia, did you actually do the exercise you outlined? Did you actually meal prep? And if I didn't do that, I'll figure out what happened. And then how can I get back on track for this coming week? This kind of gives yourself a clean slate because some days, some weeks are going to be worse than others. But at least once you checked in yourself, you figured out what went wrong, what went right. Then it helps you to kind of not dwell on the fact that, oh, I didn't do things perfectly the last week. So you got to keep going. So what to do with your weekly check-in? Well, number one, weigh yourself. Weigh yourself, take your measurements, check your chest, check your waist, check your hips, and see how you did. Sometimes you may not see the scale move, but you'll notice that your clothes fit differently. You'll notice that your waist is going in. A lot of times we get discouraged when we don't see the scale move. However, if you notice that you're losing inches, then that tells you your body's changing. You're developing a little bit more muscle and less fat, and your inches are going down. And that's why sometimes you don't see that scale move, because you're building muscle, and muscle weighs heavier than fat, but it also burns more calories than fat. So it is important to actually tone and have muscles. Next, in your weekly weigh-in, review your why and your vision for the future. So before you start your weight loss journey, you really need to know why you're doing it. And the why is personal to you. There's no right or wrong, but you want to make sure that it's something that motivates you. I'm not going to be motivated if one of my colleagues says I'm fat and I want to prove her wrong. No, I don't care about her. I don't care about that person. You can say whatever you want to say to me. It doesn't make a difference. You're not the reason why I get up in the morning and go swimming and exercising. But when you have a why that means something important to you, it's all the difference in the world. I see my patients and they tell me, they're like, I'm changing my life because I want to get off these medications, or I want to not be a diabetic, or I want to not have high blood pressure. These are very strong whys. These are whys why you get up and keep going even when you're tired, because you really want to get off medication. I had one lady, she needed to have knee surgery. She had to lose 40 pounds for the knee surgery. And it took her about 9 months, but she lost that 40 pounds because she was consistent. She got up and she was exercising every day for an hour, doing chair exercise because she couldn't move because her knee was hurting. But she kept going and she lost those 40 pounds because she had a strong why. The other thing I would say is have a vision for what you want to see. Do you want to see yourself in a certain size? Do you want to see yourself, with no medication, or being able to walk up the stairs without being short of breath? Have that vision for what you mean when you say, oh, I want to get healthy, or I want this. Spell it out so that as you're going through your weekly check-in, you can ask yourself, am I actually meeting that vision? Am I getting close to that vision that I see in the future? And sometimes when you don't spell it out, you may miss it. You may miss the fact that you've gotten to a stronger place than you were. Many times with my patients, I have to remind them. I'm like, wait a minute. When we first started, you said you wanted to be able to walk up a flight of stairs without being short of breath. You did that. You need to celebrate. You need to celebrate. I mean, it's a big thing. When people go up a flight of stairs, they're like, they're huffing and puffing because They just haven't been exerting themselves. So the fact that you can do that and you're not huffing and puffing, celebrate. All right. So ask yourself the following questions. Did I complete the goals that I set forth? What were my wins for the week? What were my challenges for the week? What can I do to overcome those challenges for the next week? Because remember, clean slate, we're starting over. And then the question is, what are my goals for the next week? And have 3 goals that you're trying to accomplish with each and every week. This will help you stay consistent for your weekly check-ins. Now, the other thing, what to do in your weekly check-ins, make sure you have self-compassion. We are our worst enemies and can be our worst critics. We just we don't do something right, and myself included, I feel the worst. I felt really bad that I didn't go swimming today. But that's okay, because tomorrow I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to get my exercise in. But we have to have self-compassion. Know that there's some days you may not feel like exercising that day, and it's okay. But get it the next day, but make sure you kind of keep still going forward. So have self-compassion. Now, how do you plan to implement being consistent in your everyday life? Number 1, make yourself a priority. You deserve to be a priority. I love the Geico commercial where the guy was like, you deserve to save. And the guy's like, what? You deserve to save. And he starts crying. I don't want you to cry, but you deserve to be a priority. Sometimes we are so busy putting everyone else first that we neglect ourselves. But guess what? You can't be healthy and help others if you are unhealthy. So you have to make yourself a priority. Now, I'm not saying that you can't spend time with your kids, spend time with family, but I'm just saying make sure that you're putting yourself as a priority, getting your exercise in, making sure you meal prep for the week. Stop making excuses. You deserve to be a priority. Okay? Also, decide what you want to do to stay consistent. I know I've given you some things to think about. I mentioned having meal prepping. I mentioned, sticking to a schedule. Decide one thing that you're going to do to stay consistent, and then schedule it. Whatever it is, schedule. Because if you don't, you'll be like, I'll do it in an hour. I do it tomorrow. I do it the next day. And you know what? It's like you keep pushing off. You'll never finish. So schedule it. All right. I'm going to give you a bonus, because the other way how you stay consistent is with accountability. Now, you may be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean by accountability? Accountability can be several things. It can be having a partner, having a friend that you can be able to say, hey, look, text and be like, hey, look, I did my exercise today. Or you have a friend who walks with you, or a friend who encourages you. By having an accountability partner, it shows that you are not alone, that you have somebody who's trying to help you get to your next goal. And sometimes people have accountability partners on Facebook groups where they're like, hey guys, this is your exercise group. This is what I did. I did my exercise today. And everybody's like, yeah, you. And that's okay. By having somebody who helps you to stay accountable, helps you to keep going. Now, the question is, how do you find an accountability partner? Because not everybody is the best accountability partner. I have many patients that tell me that their spouse or their significant other is not their accountability partner. They're too mean, they're too honest, and they make them feel bad. And regardless of whoever it is that you have beside you that's helping you stay accountable, you want to make sure this is a person who is striving to be healthy and is willing to encourage you. A lot of times our spouses, our significant others can be people who actually tempt us, right? They'll bring into the house all these candies and cookies and things that make us tempt us. But if you have somebody who's striving to be healthy just like you, it helps them not to bring in those bad things into the house. And your accountability partner can be a friend. It can be a trainer that you hire at the gym, or you can even hire a trainer outside the gym that comes to your home to work out. So it has to be somebody you can join a group or a class where you can go in and work out together. And that helps you because you have other people trying to strive to do the same thing. So it makes it a lot easier to keep going. Or you could have, just a good friend or family member. I had one patient, they had a Zoom call twice a day where they would get on and they would do exercise together. And even though they're in different states, different cities, this helped them to stay accountable. and they were able to lose weight. Why? Because they showed up. They knew at, I don't know what time, let's say 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the evening, somebody was going to be on this Zoom call and you're doing your exercise. Now, how to get the most out of your accountability partner? Number one, find out what their weight loss goals are and find out what your weight loss goals are and see how you guys can achieve it. You may have different goals and that's okay. Many times with my friends, we'll just have like a text chain, like a WhatsApp group where we're like, hey, I exercised today. And we're like, yes, you can do it. Similar to a Facebook group. Or I'll text my friend, hey, I exercised. Did you exercise? He's like, oh yeah, I exercised. And so we keep each other accountable that way by having somebody who we can trust. Also, you guys will get together and decide on what works for you, whether it's like you guys are going to meet up for a weekly meeting to go exercise on the trail, or you're going to do like a text, or you're going to do a Zoom call. Whatever it is, you decide on how you all can keep each other accountable and what it is you want them to keep you accountable for. And then last but not least, set them a reminder on your schedule on when you will meet, schedule it. So that's extremely important. Now, in the comments, write down, how do you plan to stay accountable in your everyday life? And your homework is post what it is and let us help you to stay accountable. So for your free resource, go to drshellyMD.ck.page /begin to receive your 5 secrets to beginning your weight loss journey and sign up for our weekly newsletter where we give you lots of tips on how you can stay active and stay consistent with your weight loss. Thank you so much for joining us today for this Facebook Live, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.